Team Liquid just won the NALCS 2018 Spring Split. It is their first split win in NA, and they are the fourth organization to have won a split in North America. Keep in mind, Liquid is also one of the old guards of the NALCS. They were Curse before, and then they rebranded to Liquid. I'm not exactly sure how that process went. I think Steve bought the rights or something like that. They was like co-owner. I'm not exactly sure about how it went from Curse to Liquid, but that's basically it. Liquid used to be Curse, so yes, they are an old guard organization in the NALCS. Alongside the other three past split winners, which is CLG, Cloud9, and TSM. So Liquid is now the fourth organization to win the NALCS. But I see a lot of people on mainly Twitter. I don't go through Reddit too much, but on Twitter I see a lot of people talking about like how big this win is for Team Liquid. Like people are so hyped over this. Like all the Liquid fans are basically like, "Oh my god, finally like my organization finally won the split that they deserve. They finally won the split and they deserve this win so much." I don't know. Me as a Liquid fan, this win didn't feel as good, and I have some reasons for that. And the reason is because I feel like Steve, the CEO and owner of Liquid, essentially just bought a developed roster. So I'm going to talk to you about player development first, before I start getting into this. What I mean by player development is when a player comes into an organization and they begin to develop a player. You know, they start to improve the player. So like an example would be Cloud9. To me, Cloud9 is the best organization in NALCS for player development. You know, they brought in contracts last year to replace the jungler they had, Meteos. I'm not sure. Contracts came in, right? Contracts was a rookie, and it seemed like they had a lot of success with Contracts, even though they replaced their jungler. And Contracts did well, you know, he shined. I think he got a good amount of fan base. So to me, they developed Contracts really well. The same applies to this year as well. Licorice. Licorice was pretty much dominating in at the start of this spring split of 2018. He was doing really well. Some people could argue, oh, they gave him resources, they played around him. Okay, but still, they made him shine. They made him, a fan favorite, kind of. They made him somewhat of a fan favorite, at least. You know, I think Licorice has a good amount of fans because of Cloud9. And it's not just the fans, it's about like how they play well. You know, they play well in the series. Like, oh, Licorice has been doing good. Oh, Contracts has been doing good. You see what I mean there? Cloud9 develops players well. They've done it with 2 rookies, and they've been a really consistent team in NALCS. Although, for Liquid, on the other hand, they do not have good player development. Let's talk about the iteration of Liquid with Lourlo, Matt, Dardoch, Piglet, and Phoenix, right? I'm pretty sure that was their mid laner. I think they had a couple of switches, but let's just talk about those. We had Lourlo, who was a rookie at the time, I think. I think they just got the challenger scene. They got promoted. So yeah, rookie. I think Matt was also the rookie. Piglet, they imported him from Korea. I think Dardoch was a rookie too, because they replaced I Will Dominate with him. And you had Mid Phoenix, who was also imported from Korea. That iteration, okay, you had Piglet. All right, Piglet, world champion. They bought the world champion. He was on SKT. And then also they bought Phoenix, who also another Korean import. Should be good, right? Should be a good import. They also had Dardoch, who actually was a really dominating player, but I think that's just more him. I feel like, he's the guy that works the hardest. He's really gonna put in those hours and hours and grind the shit out of it and like just shit on other junglers. To me, Dardoch being the good player that he is, I think that's just him. You know, it's natural talent. Liquid did not develop Dardoch, in my opinion. It did not look like it. I mean, they even kicked him off the roster. And even when he got kicked off the roster, went to Immortals, he basically got kicked off of there too, or traded, whatever, or left to CLG. I have no idea. To me, it sounds like they didn't want Dardoch in Immortals. And when he went on CLG, they replaced him with a guy in the challenger scene, Omar God. I'm pretty sure he was toxic with CLG too. There must have been a problem as well. Point is, Dardoch was not developed. He couldn't stick with these teams. Same thing for Lorlo and Matt. Lorlo doesn't have any outstanding performances. Neither does Matt. The only time I think of an outstanding performance with the Matt was like this one Bardolt. You know, that's like his main. Point is, Liquid does not develop players. I mean, after that iteration, they made it to 4th place, I believe, and then the year after that, they went to relegations. They almost got relegated, and the reason they didn't get relegated is because they brought in Doublelift, who, lucky them, wanted to come back into the scene around that time. You know, Doublelift was gonna go back to TSM, but since he wasn't gonna be with TSM for the rest of the split because they had Wild Turtle locked in for playoffs, they had Doublelift to use for relegations. Doublelift said, yeah, sure thing. Good way to get back into the groove of competitive. Doublelift got him out of relegations. Liquid didn't get relegated. Hallelujah. Doublelift saved him. A developed player, by the way. Liquid did not develop Doublelift to win the relegations. Doublelift was developed. He came in and saved Liquid's ass. Back to my point. Liquid is not good at player development. Some might argue Liquid just won the split. Doesn't that mean they're really good at player development? It has to mean something. That's a no. They are still not good at player development because they essentially just bought the iteration of the 2017 Immortals roster. Immortals did really successful in the 2017 summer split of NALCS. They almost won it. They went to Worlds, Cody Sun choked, whatever. No NA team does good at Worlds, aside from maybe Cloud9, but you know, it's not like we think they're going to win it either. So, point is, they basically bought the iteration of Immortals. Keep in mind, Cody Sun was supposed to be on Liquid this year for 2018. But Doublelift became a free agent after they replaced him with Sven on TSM. So Liquid, understandably, went for Doublelift aside from Cody Sun. They were going to have 4. They were basically going to buy Immortals and then just not flame. And then they bought out Impact as well. A very consistent and strong top laner in NA. They got Doublelift, another developed player. One of the best ADCs in North America. And then they got the Immortals core. Xmithie, who has been popping off since Summer Split last year. Pobelter, another very strong mid laner. A mid laner that can really go toe-to-toe. He is also developed. And then they got Ole, who is also part of the core of the Immortals iteration of 2017 Summer. Ole has been really popping off that split as well. A lot of people say Ole is a really good support. So what I'm trying to say is that Liquid's 2018 NALCS Spring Split win, it's not... It didn't seem like it was earned through player development. It was definitely earned. You know, Steve obviously got sponsored by HyperX and stuff like that. Excuse me. Alienware and all that, and you know, with that franchising and with how great the organization is in other aspects, they were able to afford the expensive players. You know, Impact, we heard he was almost worth like $1 million, I think. Doublelift, I'm pretty sure, had a really high buy. The 3 Immortals core also had a really high buy, I'm pretty sure. So what I'm saying is that Liquid essentially just kind of, in a way, bought the win. You know, it sounds kind of sleazy that way. I don't mean to slander them. Kudos to Steve for making that move because, yeah, he won the split. Secondly, huge fan base behind this roster, okay? You know, I'm pretty sure a lot of Cloud9 fans were probably behind Impact. Yeah, we love Impact. That's our top laner, whatever. Doublelift, probably one of the most famous people in NA, so they probably sold a lot of Doublelift shirts. Ole's recently popped off, so you know he's on fire right now for rosters. You know, Pobelter and Xmithie are starting to get a lot of recognition too. Point is, Steve made the right move by buying these players. But to me, it doesn't mean as much when they didn't have to develop these players. And that's what impresses me about organizations. When organizations can, you know, get these rookies or, you know, maybe bad players or like rookies, and they can develop them to like really good players to a really strong rosters. And that's just something that Liquid still has not proven. Liquid has still not proven to us that they can take a roster with maybe, you know, 2 or even 1 rookie, and they could still make that rookie look good. They could still make that, you know, roster very successful. And that's my problem with them winning this 2018 split. As a fan, it doesn't mean to me as much that they didn't have to go through player development. They basically developed players. I hope you guys can understand this point of view. If you agree or disagree, let me know in the comments below. Why? You know, definitely want to discuss about this. Other than that, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. And I really hope you guys can see my point of view from this. Other than that, I think Liquid's a really great organization. I think a lot of the aspects of Liquid that I see are really good. And kudos to Steve for winning the split. I really hope the best for Team Liquid, especially as a fan. And that'll be it for the video. I hope you guys have a nice day, and I'm out.